Where did the ball go? Huh? What? Are you kidding me? What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Smash Pickleball. Thank you for joining me on the video today. What a great day on the courts. It's always a fun day when you're trying out a new paddle. Today we are going to be taking out the Spartus P1. We did a short intro video to this paddle the other day, so if you didn't catch that video, please go check that out. Today was the first day of play on the courts, and oh my, do I have some things to tell you guys about this paddle. So let me just first start off by, setting a disclaimer here, right? Most of the, expensive, if you will, or nice pickleball paddles that you find on the market today with peel ply, phase technology, they're going to come out of the box really gritty, and you'll be able to shape the ball and do all kinds of fun stuff that typically not too long after you're not going to be able to do. And the reason why is because raw carbon faces and peel ply textures on pickleball paddles, they just don't last. Okay, and so it has been found through some experiments from other channels that you're going to lose roughly 12 to 15% of your spin from brand new paddle to approximately 10-ish hours in some cases less play time. So that's pretty disappointing, to be honest with you. And if you're somebody that likes to shape your ball and enjoys putting spin on your ball and hits with some pace, heck, even if you don't hit with that much pace, the things that you can do at the net and in the kitchen when your paddle is fresh, you simply can't do most of the time several hours into playtime with that same paddle, because the grit just doesn't hold up. Now, paddles like the Boomstick and 6-0 Coral and Black Diamond, I mean, they have their version of durable grit, and now we have the Spartus P1 with the Perma Grit. We're gonna get into some gameplay footage here, just as I'm kind of talking through this. I'm gonna touch briefly on the power of the paddle, and then I'm gonna move on because that's not really the story with this guy here. All right, so power, I'm gonna put it at about a 4.5. I think it's got more power than the 6-0 Coral, but not as much power as a J6CR, and less so than a Loco, and even more so less than a Boomstick. Pop, I'm actually going to put it at a 4.2. The pop feels lower than full swing baseline power on drives, and I think that has to do partially with the technology in the grit, because they're using like a ceramic type gel, if you will. I know I'm not using the right terminology, but it's different from what's being done in the industry right now. And that not only adds a little more weight to the paddle, but it makes the face feel a little softer. It makes it feel like it has a little more dwell than it actually has. Okay. And so because of that, I think it loses some of the initial snap and pop on counter attacks and hand battles. It felt great in hand battles, and in fact I would even say control-wise, this is the best paddle I have played with to date. Even over and above the Coral, and it feels like it has more control than even the J6CR. And I think the reason why it feels that way is because of the spin. So spin is definitely going to be a 5. If I didn't stop the scale at 5, I might rate it higher than a 5. And it's not that out of the box this generates more spin than a Coral, a brand new B&B Loco, a brand new J6CR. It's just that it lasted the entire day. Now, it's one day, okay? I realize that. But as you're watching through the footage here, I'm able to, you know, comfortably and with confidence spin the ball and shape it almost at will. This paddle, before the end of the day, felt like an extension of my arm. Like it was just so instinctual what I felt like what I could do with this paddle. And the only thing limiting what I actually, or what this paddle could really do, was me. That was it, okay? Serves were great, and I wasn't serving any harder than I normally serve. You know, my serves sit in the, you know, just depending on what I'm doing that day, if I'm stepping into it or not, but I'm in the mid 40 mile per hour region on a typical serve. You know, occasionally crank it up higher than that, but it wasn't anything different than I was doing on any other day. The difference was the spin that I was able to generate with the paddle was giving a lot of trouble to my opponents. And yeah, I am going to continue to play with this paddle and see how the grit holds up. What I will say is, this being a hybrid, I'm an elongated paddle player, and the sweet spot is not as forgiving as a Loco or a J6CR, but it's decent. It's not bad at all. It's definitely not a bad sweet spot. Where I was getting into trouble was on my forehand. I'm mostly okay, because on my forehand I'm mostly in this part of the paddle, which is still a little bit high for a hybrid, but on an elongated that would be right in the sweet spot. On my backhand, I'm just naturally up here on a lot of my drives, and on an elongated paddle that would still be mostly okay, but on the hybrid, I definitely lost a decent amount of power on some of my backhands, and that's not the paddle's fault, guys. I mean, it's mostly my fault. It's mostly my fault, right? Lack of skill. So I didn't do much to weight it. I did play one game without the weight, and then I went ahead and added a you know, a 3-inch strip of 0.5 gram per inch weight on each side, right at the cheeks. I would say right at 4 and 8 o'clock. And I think that was just a perfect amount. I mean, the paddle head does feel a little more head heavy, and I like a balanced feel paddle. And so I don't like too much head heaviness, and I don't like it too head light. And so I felt like 1 gram per inch strips were going to be too heavy. Just want to add it just a little more. Not sure yet if I'm going to add a little bit here right at the top. I think I'm going to wait until I get the elongated to see how I weight that one out. But, you know, got my Hesacore grip on there. It feels great. I did notice that the handle, and this might be a hybrid thing, but I did notice the handle felt a little bit short for Tui's, and I'm not, you know, I know that the standard thing is to put your finger on the back of the paddle. That is not me. I've tried doing the finger on the back of the paddle, and it just feels completely weird to me, and I don't know. That might be something that'll change for me in the future, but for now, I like to wrap my hand all the way around the grip, just like tennis, because that's where I came from. This still feels more natural to me to wrap my fingers around the grip rather than put a finger on the back of the paddle. So I think this is more than lust. I think this is love. And it's appropriate with Valentine's Day just around the corner. So we are going to continue to play with this paddle and see how the grit holds up. I can definitely tell when the grit has worn down a little bit. I've noticed it on all my other paddles. And so we're going to see how it holds up here. I'm excited, guys. Like, you know, it's not a flashy looking paddle. It really isn't. I do kind of like the design with the lines going down the face, but it's not a flashy looking paddle. It doesn't have any, you know, cool colors that you can get it in. It's a pretty standard black, and I actually don't mind it, but I think from a marketing standpoint, Spartus, if you're listening, you know, offering some other colors, I think would get more people to buy your paddles and at least try them. I'm trying not to overstate it because I want to give this paddle more time, but I haven't been this excited about a paddle since I started playing pickleball. And for me, that's saying a lot. So anyways, we'll stop there for today. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you're enjoying these videos. To get my home studio set up here, it'll get better and better. Hopefully the audio is a little better today than it was the other day. But if you haven't subscribed already, please do. Help support the channel. It doesn't cost you anything. Hit the like button. It really goes a long way to helping me out and making the algorithm pick the video up and sending it out to other pickleball enthusiasts. And that is it for now. If you want to pick up any gear for yourself, including a Spartus P1, I have my affiliate links down below, which will save you 10%. And I have some other affiliate links there too if you want to pick yourself up a Hesacore grip. I got a couple of other codes down there. So anyways, anything that can help out, really appreciate you guys. But that is it for today. Until then, see you next time.